The Crusader is one of those mechs that the first time you see it, the first time you flip through the technical manuals, you're like, this machine's got some bite. And from my perspective, this is up there with a certain class of battle mechs where you don't know the mission, you don't know what the terrain is going to be, what hex maps you're playing on, you don't know what your opponent is going to bring. There's a lot of unknown in terms of intel. What mechs do you bring? What mechs excel at multi-role uses? What mechs are just solid? You know, if we're talking inner sphere, early tech level, the Crusader is right up there with the catapult. So right away, redundancy at all levels. And this is an important tactic, certainly in Battletech, certainly in any type of war game. 3 is some, 2 is 1, 1 is none, right? You have to hit, you have to damage, hopefully the correct area on there. The more shots that you can put down on the table, the better. And you want to try and repeat this across multiple mech platforms. We see this right away with the Crusader. You have at long range the LRM 15 packs. They're going to be firing off. And this, in my opinion, and we've looked at this in other podcasts and over on my blog, there's a division in terms of LRM packs. 5 and 10, okay, you roll average, damage is okay. I mean, we never want to take any damage, but I'm not sweating it out. I'm not getting nervous on there. 15 and 20 packs, obviously, especially 20 packs, I'm getting nervous. If you roll average, that's going to be some good damage. If you roll legendary or like a beast, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. You've got 2 15 packs on the way in. We could also, it's not a dedicated indirect fire mech. It's not a longbow, but it could do some indirect fire. In a pinch, it could serve as a temporary fire support mech because it has the 15 packs crossing that threshold, and it has the redundancy. Although the Crusader, in my opinion, is not a dedicated fire support mech like the longbow or the Jaeger mech if we're looking at autocannon counterparts, but it could do it on there. So we have something on the way in to shoot. We have indirect capability, and we have potential fire support capability at long range. That right there is almost worth the price of admission. Now we get a little closer. We switch to the medium lasers on there. Medium lasers, tonnage, damage, heat, one of the best in the game. One of the best weapon classes in the game, inner sphere. It's got that pushing out. We get even closer, so at some point you're going to be the long-range missiles and maybe the lasers. Then you're going to switch, you're going to cool down, close the missile doors on the LRMs, and you're going to switch to the lasers and the short-range missile packs. And this is where things get really interesting with the Crusader because those missile packs are in the legs. And being short-range missiles means you want to get as close as possible. If you're getting that close, based on the tonnage, you might as well be throwing some fists for that 1 in 6 chance of striking the head. So literally on the way in, you have something to do. Medium range, something to do. Short range, something to do. Redundancy on all systems. And then really point blank range, punch, punch, missile, missile on there. That's a little bit scary. Against infantry, and we see this with a lot of the kind of inner sphere, heavier type mechs, a lot of them have machine guns. A lot of them don't have machine guns. And the ones that don't have machine guns, what that means is against combined arms, infantry can be an annoyance on there. And now it's like, do you want to soak up a little bit of damage, or do you want to take all of your guns and try to deal with infantry? Well, if you're a heavier assault mech, you need to be dealing with other things on the table besides that infantry. Crusader's got the machine guns on there. So I can't even throw wastoid infantry at you. You're just going to blaze through them on there. Disadvantages. Well, like a lot of the unseen, reseen, unseen, backseen, again, the conversion from battle droids to Battletech and early tech, you've got to manage heat. You've got to manage heat on there. You've got to stagger your salvos of firing. And you know, of course, this is coming from a player that always pushes heat and gambles it. You need to be more conservative based on that. Ammo is another problem, not so much in terms of you're going to run dry, but ammo explosions on there. You're vulnerable to that. But I don't really hold that against the Crusader because there's a lot of heavy mechs that have that challenge. There's a lot of assault mechs that have that challenge. So it's not so much a negative. It's more like just something to be aware. But in my opinion, and in your opinion, the feedback, Crusader's just solid. It's just solid on there. It's an amazing lance mate, multi-role, a really, really fine mech to take and utilize.